What's up, guys? I got two Derek Jeter jerseys right behind me. One's going to be a Nike replica and one's going to be a Nike authentic. So what's the difference? When you're shopping online, they give you two 3D rendering pictures. They give you the front and then they give you the back. And for those who don't know what the difference is between the Nike replica and the Nike authentic, you could be stuck there sitting and looking at the price points and wondering, which one should I get? So in today's video, I'm just going to break down both jerseys and compare it, just so you get an idea of what features you get on the Nike replica and what's on the Nike authentic. So if you guys find this video helpful or entertaining, an easy way to support the channel is just by hitting like, hit subscribe, and hit that notification bell so when I drop new videos, you don't miss out. Let's go ahead and get into it. So the first thing I want to talk about is the price points. So with the Nike replica jerseys, they typically run from $130 to $160. So if it's plain, like it doesn't have this patch, it's $130. But when you get to the ranges of 150 to 160, they'll usually come with like a special patch on one sleeve or both sleeves. So it just depends. And then on the Nike authentic jerseys, they range from $300 and up. So this one in particular was $330 just because I got the Hall of Fame patch on this as well. So it just kind of depends on if you get something with a patch or not, and it'll affect the price. If you're wondering why this is $300 and up, this is actually the same material and build as what the players wear on field. And then with the Nike replica version, it's going to be your most affordable and most popular option. Not everybody wants to sink $300 on one of these, so this gives you options, especially if you're on a budget. Now, let's go ahead and break down the details so you can see the difference between the two. The next thing we're going to check out is the polyester base. So starting off with the Nike replica, they use a mid-weight polyester base for this jersey. It's actually it's light, but compared to the authentic version is much lighter. But Nike is known for using dry fit for their materials for moisture wicking properties. As you can see here, it's solid. The patterns don't change throughout the jersey. But when we take a look at the authentic jersey, it's actually really lightweight, especially this is what the players wear, and so they need the ventilation mesh to really ventilate and just keep the players cool. And when you see at the bottom, there's ventilation. The mesh holes are actually very prominent on the sides. Heat escapes the sides, and there's like a little tail at the back. It's a little longer length, but you can see it's really ventilated here. Those holes are much more prominent, so that creates more airflow and just keeps the player cool overall. It's just that you don't see this when most players wear it because it's usually tucked in, but that's the difference between the polyester mesh. The next thing we're going to look at is the lettering and numbering. So on the Nike replica version, you got Jeter across the back, but it is a polyester piece that is heat pressed. You can see that it looks like it has stitching on the lettering, but it's actually heat pressed. It just gives you an illusion that it's stitched. Nice and clean on the replica version, nice and flush. And then on the back side, the numbering, same style as well. So it looks like it's stitched, but it's all a heat pressed piece. And then when we go to the authentic version, so with the Yankees jersey, you could get the option with the name or without. So some teams have their player names on the back, some don't. So it just depends. A lot of the teams now have the names on the back. Just this jersey in particular doesn't. But you can see it's a twill material and it's stitched down. So this one's, for this jersey in particular, not every jersey is going to be the same, but you see it's double stitched. So there's an outer layer and an inner layer of stitching, which is dope. It really secures the jersey and the pieces down. And if this were to have Jeter across, it would be stitched as well. And on the front side, the Nike replica, you got New York. But what's really different about these jerseys here, they actually have stitching on the material. For the Nike replicas, it's heat pressed, but they have stitched material on it. But when I take a look at the inside, usually you could see the stitching. Let's go ahead and open this up. You don't see any stitching onto the jersey. So it could just be a heat press piece and they just add this kind of like stitching layer to give the jersey some texture. But when we go to the authentic version, so they still use a twill material, and then they use stitching all around the jersey. It's just a beautiful look. And then when we open up the authentic, you can see that the lettering is stitched onto the jersey, and it's beautifully stitched. Just look at it. No loose threads, no excess garbage on there. It's just nice and beautiful. And then you can see on the back, just, man, this is like super clean stitching. The next thing we're gonna look at is the labels, the patches, and all the small little details. So on the MLB Batterman logo on the replica version, it's a fabric material, but it's nicely stitched down. So that's a nice thing about this one. It's stitched down. And then when we go to the authentic version, just look at this. It's a plastic material. You can see there's a little shine to it when the light hits, and it's stitched down as well. So that's a little nice touch. And then when we look at the patch on this one, this could be a rarity. So not every patch on the replica versions are gonna be stitched. So this one is a rare one. The Hall of Fame patch is actually stitched down. So it's an embroidered patch and they stitch it down. You can see the edges all stitched down. But like I said, guys, not every patch on the replica versions will have it like this. I've gotten some replica versions that have heat press patches. So just a disclaimer. And then on the authentic version, the patch is pretty much the same. So that's a pretty value steal on this Nike replica version. So on this one, same thing, embroidered, and it's stitched down. So like I said again, guys, usually on these Nike replica ones, they're like heat press patches, not the same material as the authentic, but this could be a rarity case. And then the retail tags for the replica version, so $165 for this jersey, just a Nike logo. On the opposite side, you got genuine merchandise, standard fit, you got the sponsors in the back, and then on this jersey in particular, it's a Hall of Fame jersey, so you get the Hall of Fame patches. And on the authentic, you got that Hall of Fame patch, standard fit, and then you got the MLB authentic collection. And then your standard retail tag, $330. Pretty basic, but pretty similar. And on the Nike replica, so on the neck label, you got genuine merchandise, medium, made in Indonesia, the Nike logo. So this is feels like a sticker. It's really thin, but it's a little heat press piece. And then when we look at the authentic version, you don't see it up here, but you see that stitching of the MLB logo back there. On the authentics, you get an actual tag, authentic collection, medium. It's just nicely built. 40, made in Honduras, right down there. And then when we take a look at the Nike logo, so the swoosh on the replica, it's a small heat press piece. Nice and clean, but taking a look at the authentic, just look at this. It's an embroidered patch, like the interior of it, but it's stitched down and attached to the jersey. It's just beautiful, just much better Nike swoosh on it. And then when we go down to the jock tag, so this is similar to the neck label on the replica, but it's like a plastic, kind of feels like a sticker, really thin, but it's a heat press piece. Then we go to the authentic version. Man, this is what I love about this one. I mean, the material that they use on it, sturdy patch, really nice material, and it's stitched down. You can see things are embroidered onto it. It's just overall really good quality. The last thing we're going to talk about is the sizing. So right now I'm wearing the Nike replica version. I'm 5'6", 175 pounds. This is a size medium. The authentic will be size medium as well, but I chose my shirt size and it fits true to size in my opinion. So right here we got the front of the jersey. It has a relaxed fit, which I like about this replica version. You can see the front, you got the side panel, well, the sleeves. You see how the sleeves sit right just above the elbow crease, for me at least. And then you got the back of the jersey, bunt. Nice relaxed fit, can't go wrong with it. Let's go ahead and check out the authentic. Then we got the Nike Authentic version of the jersey. Off the bat, the difference in the feel. I feel like this has an athletic cut, so it's a little slimmer, like a little form-fitting, not too tight, but I feel like it's slimmer compared to the Nike Replica version. I can kind of see my stomach a little more in here, but it feels much more lightweight, and like I'm filming in a hot room right now, and this is much more breathable. The other one, I felt like it contained the heat a little more, so this whole like ventilation mesh does help with like keeping the players cool on field. Since, you know, baseball is a summer game, they're out in the scorching heat, especially those day games. They gotta like get some airflow. But when we take a look at the jersey, right here we got the front side, then you got the side, you can see the sleeves. I feel like they're just a tad shorter when it comes to the sleeves. It's sitting up a little higher than the Nike Replica version, but it gives you more mobility. It's probably more comfortable as well if you're playing in it. Then we got the back. So with the back, you can see that tail that I was talking about earlier, that ventilated mesh. It's a little longer on the Nike Authentic versions. You don't have that on the Nike Replica, so you have it on the Authentic. I mean, like I said, they tuck it in so you don't even notice it on field. But with the Nike Authentic versions, there's no size small. So on the Nike Replica versions, they have like your standard small, medium, large, XL, 2X, etc. On the Nike Authentic versions, the smallest size you can get is a 40. So if you got that size where you're usually wear a size small, medium is going to be like the smallest that they have, so it may run long on you. At the end of the day, it just depends on what you're able to spend and what features you like. So with the Authentic versions, $300, it's a huge investment for these jerseys. I mean, if it's going to be your favorite player, your favorite team, I say go for it. Just save up the extra money. It's much nicer. I mean, don't get me wrong. These are still nice, but if you want something that, you know, you're going to definitely wear for a long time, I would go with the Authentic. You get the stitched features, all those patches and like little logos and things like that. Like those upgraded material is much nicer. And then, come on man, it just, you feel like you're actually, you know, you're wearing the same thing as a player, so that's like a dope thing. But if you don't want to spend $300 and up for a jersey, the Nike Replica does its job. Because not everybody wants to throw around $300 on a jersey. So it's going to be hard to justify, especially, you know, necessities first before wants. But right here you get the heat press version. $160. You could get 2 of these for one of the Authentics. So if you like collecting or buying in value, or, you know, want to get more of your favorite players, you could get a whole bunch of these. And then usually these go on sale more often than the Authentic versions. So what's nice is you can get an affordable option. So can't go wrong with that. Which style of jersey do you like better? Do you like the Nike Replica? Do you like the Authentic? Let me know in the comments below, and thank you again for watching, and on to the next video.